Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast with myself, Glenn, and now with Darren today to have a chat about yesterday's game against Manchester United. Manchester United 4, Liverpool 3, and even saying that, Darren, makes you feel, even today, a day later, still makes you feel a little bit sick, considering at one point I thought we were going to win about 5-1.
Yeah, it's a gut punch, isn't it? It don't matter. Uh, it's always tough to take when you get beaten by United, especially in a commanding position that we were in that second half. But it's first half was just like a regular first half for us all season. Like we're on, we start slow. I mean, them getting that early goal set them for the first half. Um, but it's frustrating, isn't it? It's we all dream of the quad. I mean, every team dreams of the quad apart from United. Um, but we just wanted to send Klopp off, with every trophy possible. But the quad, nobody's done the quad for a reason because it's hard as hell, and that little dream has faded a bit. But you look on the bright side, we're still in for the league and for Europa League. So, I mean, FA Cup was third on my list anyway. So,
Honestly, the stuff about the quad, I know it was all fun and all that, but I said it the year when we went close with the Champions League and the league and we done them the last day of the season. I don't think any team will ever be able to do it. And I said to you as well before we started, when we had a chat earlier, like if we get knocked out with the Europa League next round, like it doesn't bother me as long as we win the league. It's all about the league. But we'll go back to the start of the game. Um, it was a poor start from Liverpool, as you say. The first 30 minutes, I thought we were way off it. Four forward players, midfield players started really, really poor. There was gaps all over the place, and they seemed to just play through us quite comfortably, really. But after that, and around that sort of after that 30-minute mark, um, we, I mean, when we obviously scored the first goal, and then we scored the second goal, I think everyone's going into the second half thinking, it's going to be a piece of cake, this.
yeah, well, I mean, they targeted our right side, but I think United do that every single season, don't they? I mean, even when Trent's there or Gomez is there or somebody else is there, they always target it with Rashford and Garnacho. They were having a, good time down that right side because, Mo doesn't track back as much as, maybe Nunes does or sometimes Diaz. But, yeah, when we went 2-1 up, I mean, you're like, we're smashing these bastards.
Yeah,
You had that feeling like we've had all season where we're going to come back and win. Um, and that second half, the first 20 odd minutes, you're
it was
just,
unbelievable, wasn't it?
it's coming. I was watching it with the missus and the kids, and I was like, everything's fine, everything's good, but it's like we took it for granted. I think it started to play into maybe the occasion, maybe because it was like a training match, but it was like you said, we were toying with them like the cat with the mouse.
Yeah, yeah,
I just thought, all right, the third one's coming, and it never came. You
yeah.
know,
It was very
and we
unlike us,
got in.
wasn't
It
it?
was, and I mean, like it was funny because before Anthony had scored, he fell on his arse, and the commentator had said, you know, basically he's a waste of money, and then he scores, and he's surrounded by three defenders, and that
Yeah,
should never have happened. It's like get your foot in. I,
yeah,
uh, I just think very, very, very soft in the back.
yeah. But hang on a minute. Let's just go back a bit because their goals that they score are 100% down to Liverpool's lack of ability in the box.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not like I know like we spoke before, and you were saying about certain goals and whatever that we conceded, but for me, it doesn't matter because at 2-1. at 2-1, I can't remember how many times in my head I thought these are shit. Like how many times did we cut them open? Mate, how many times did Dom Szoboszlai have the ball, pick the ball up? We've made one pass through their midfield, and it's like a 5v5. We've got a one midfielder running at theirs. How many times did we do that? It was mental. They were so bad. I couldn't believe how bad they were and how they've somehow won that game. From that situation, from that 60-minute mark, I thought we'll get a third. If we get a third, we'll get a fourth and maybe even a fifth. And I think that's the bit that's such a blow, you know?
Yeah, I just think the front three weren't firing. I thought Maka was one of our best players.
Yeah, brilliant.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, again, we talked before, and when we should have shot, we passed. When we passed, we should have taken a shot. But yeah, it should have been done and dusted by 70 minutes. And then the more we weren't, taking our chances, the more United, the supporters are getting behind them, and then, it was a sucker punch on 89 minutes, really was. But that's our own fault. It wasn't that United were good, because they're not. It's that we didn't do our job, which was defend.
Yeah, I heard some before that was saying like Liverpool, Man United didn't win the game, Liverpool lost the game.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a good point and a good analogy, really. I think I don't think any of our subs yesterday, not having a go with the manager here, by the way, because it shouldn't have even got to that point, because 70 minutes into the game, the game should have been dead. But I don't think any of the subs really helped us yesterday. Don't get me wrong, it's a tough game to go into for anyone. I felt like the change. I mean, the Salah one I can definitely understand. I don't think he was playing well, and probably wasn't going to play 90 minutes. That intensity with him pretty much only just coming back. I feel like the Robertson probably could have stayed on. And Bradley, I think you're right about them causing us problems down the right side. But I felt like as the game grew, Gomez was doing better down that side, and that switch, it didn't help us. But yeah, all the subs didn't improve us when they come in. I thought bar from Harvey, I thought Harvey done quite well. The rest of them, particularly Gakpo, was pretty poor.
Yeah, Gakpo was horrendous. I mean, again, we'll talk about this. There's no reason to go over the top with Gakpo. He's just having he's having a poor month. It happens in football, but the abuse he's getting is just way out of line. But that's what you get with modern day football now, is just people going over the top and just talking absolute shite. But he was poor, as were the other subs apart from Harvey, as you said. I think it really changed the momentum of the game as well. I think Klopp did get it wrong with some of the subs. Robbo should have stayed on, 100% for me. He didn't look like he was lacking. He was having, because they weren't. It was all right-sided for United. Our left side was doing really well with Diaz and Robbo, but it changed the dynamic of the game. And the subs for me just didn't do it. But again, we just let him back in when we shouldn't have. Just lack of concentration. In that extra time, you definitely saw us fatigued.
Yeah, well, I think
our legs had gone.
I think, mate, probably the most annoying thing in the whole game. Well, no, no, it's not actually. I think that 20-minute period, not scoring was absolutely infuriating. But the fact in extra time we did score. I mean, and this is actually a point I was going to say was, how many times was the ball just around the box and like we just didn't shoot, or we made that one extra pass that maybe we didn't need to do, or that one extra touch. And Harvey Elliott's goal, was a point where I was going to say, like, he's had a shot. It's a half decent shot, but it takes a deflection. It takes a deflection, and it's difficult for the goalkeeper. Like the amount of times where the ball would just be around the box, I'm thinking, just shoot. I'm not saying every single time, but if you shoot, you might just get like a deflection like that, and it might be a nightmare for the goalkeeper. Diaz is bad for it as well. Just like constantly trying to look for that perfect opportunity. But I think the real annoying thing, there was a lot of annoying things in that game yesterday, was actually getting back in the lead and then giving it back to them again with Nunez's shocking pass. It was infuriating, wasn't it?
But I mean, Rashford could have won it for him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was a couple of times I think Dio or whatever his name is could have scored, you know, the winner beforehand. But yeah, we just frustrating to know we lost to an absolute shite team.
Oh mate, honestly, it might have been. I mean, we beat them 7-0. We beat them 7-0 a couple of years ago, whenever it was, and I think they were worse yesterday, which is the mad thing. Like they were
well, in the league, I mean, this season at Anfield, we should have smashed them. I mean,
but mate, yesterday, honestly, I can't watch the game back yet because obviously I'll be irritated. But maybe in a couple of days, I'll actually just watch that part of the game back, because there was moments where we were just going through them so easily. Like even like how many times did you see? By the way, I thought Konsa and Van Dijk were great yesterday, but I Konsa just driving forward and just going past players for fun. He's got that little bit of Matip about his game, hasn't he? But
yeah, he does.
You've seen it for one of the goals. I think it was Rashford. He barely makes a challenge. I thought. I mean, them winning. Them. I don't want to go too much into them because we've got bigger fish to fry. But if you are a United fan, obviously you're going to be buzzing last minute winner. But that doesn't half paper over a lot of cracks there, because they are shite.
Yeah, and that starts from Fernandez. Like I've never seen a footballer like moan and whinge and cry as much as he does. I think he's a pathetic captain. I really do. You know, when you have a captain like Van Dijk, you know, strong, you know, in every way, and then you look at him. But yeah, they're I don't know how they're in what, sixth or fifth? No, sixth, I think. I don't know how they're sixth in the league. I don't know how they beat us.
It's one of them, isn't it? It's
one.
Again,
we have two defenders. Extra time.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
You know, I mean, Ten Hag was saying it was a historical win. You know, of course,
it's wild.
I mean, he's on his last legs. I'm sorry. I think with Radcliffe coming in, they're going to go in for somebody different next season. I mean, if they win the FA Cup, it might keep him in his job. But I just think that's, you know, well, I don't care. I mean,
I think the thing, Darren, is I don't really want to speak about them anymore, really, but when we play them now in a few weeks' time, so I don't get too ahead of myself, but I am really confident. I think those players I think all those players, and Van Dijk's message was bang on, just saying about we've only got ourselves to blame, then we're going to be, we'll go again, sort of thing. But those players are going to be so hungry next time they play them, and I think we'll. Oh, I don't want to think it, but I really fancy us to welly them if they play anything like that again, and for Liverpool or anywhere near the level. By the way, Diogo Jota would have scored about 12 goals yesterday, wouldn't he?
Hey?
Diogo Jota would have scored about 12 goals yesterday, wouldn't he?
Yeah, of course he would have. I mean, any of our front line, if they were actually firing, would have put loads past United. Yeah, I can't see nothing but a win against them in the league. And you know what? I hope it's a 93rd minute winner from us. Just to rub it right back in the face. I mean, I'd love another 5-6-0. But they'll press. I would think they're going to set up a bit differently for the league clash. They'll play a bit more defensively, but I don't think you can stop us this time. I mean, we've got a point to prove. The league is number one in
Yeah,
our book,
100%.
and I think that's what Jurgen will point out. That the only problem, is I think the international break has come at a good time for the first time in a very long time, is to get our players back. But right after the game, Jurgen likes to go over like what went wrong, and he doesn't have that this time. That they're all off on their voyages and stuff. But I just think we're too good for them.
Yeah,
And it does. It is a gut. Like I'm saying, it's a gut punch. I'm not as bad as 16-year-old Darren, who
ha,
would throw the telly out the window and
yeah,
be
yeah,
kicking and screaming. I'd be looking like Fernandez for like
yeah.
weeks
But
after a loss. But now I'm a bit more composed, and it was just down to us being poor and not them being good.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing, mate, isn't it? It's like we have got like it might come across as a bit of point of view from a Man United fan, but we've got bigger fish to fry. Like, don't get me wrong, winning the FA Cup would be great, but if anyone said to you now you've got a choice of winning there in the league or there in the FA Cup, then it's not even a question. Do you know what I mean? Like the league now, we've got nine or 10 games left.
Yeah.
It's absolutely massive when we get back. And as you say, if we can get Trent back, and if we can get, I know Gravenberg was on the bench, so he'll be coming back.
It's
And
just options, isn't it,
yeah,
off the
exactly.
bench? You
That's
know,
that's it,
I,
isn't it?
I, my hat goes off to all these young lads. Like they've done absolutely amazing for this club. But to look on the bench, and you've got players like Trent, Jota
Curse.
to come on, Curtis to come on, you're a bit more like, all right, they
Yeah,
can change the game. I mean, yesterday, we had what, just Harvey and Gakpo.
yeah. Do you know what, mate? I was thinking about this yesterday because, like, I'll always say this to you, like when we're talking before the game or whatever. I'm always saying like, if it's on 60 minutes, if it's against any team in the world, I fancy us because our bench is always strong. Now, obviously, in the last few weeks, we've been down to the bare bones, but we have had games where we have had, maybe we've got that one player to bring on the bench. Do you know what I mean? That can really change the game. Gakpo, to be fair to Gakpo, or not, well, if you're going to have a player to come on the bench yesterday, ideally, if that game was a 2-2 and you're going to bring on, or whatever the score was when Gakpo come on 2-1, it would be so much more handy. The way the game was, the way it was just chaotic. If Nunez was the sub, do you know what I mean? Or if Jota was the sub, do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? So I think that would probably be my only thing. But as you say, if we can get a couple more of these lads back now, for the running, then I fancy us to do it. I really do it. I really, really do. Win every game now, and we've won it. So it's
at,
it,
at
it
least
sounds dead easy, doesn't it?
at least we don't have a early kickoff against Brighton. Back from the internationals, the FA have been very nice to us, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
to do that. But yeah, I mean, Brighton at home, let's start with that and go on from there. But
yeah,
yeah, I just see us like getting better and better. I mean, we've come this far with basically patching stuff up, using the kids, using players that have barely had any minutes. And we are where we are because of them. But getting, the 3, 4 players back, I just think we kick on, and yeah, I think we do it.
yeah. 100%, mate. But feels ages away now, doesn't it, for our next game? Which it's like you say, it's good that we've gone in national break because we need it. But at the same time, like not only obviously the result yesterday, but just it feels like a long time
Hmm.
till we get to actually watch the Reds again, which is a bit crap. Um, but yeah, we'll have different things going on. Before then, what I tell you what tell everyone what is going to be coming up in the next
It,
week or so?
yeah, next 2 weeks international break, so obviously no games for us. But I've got James Walsh, lead singer with Star Sailor, coming out. Steve McCluskey, author, obviously a fellow Red. Lee Clark, ex Newcastle and Sunderland. But most importantly, he's Bobby Clark's dad. I had a great conversation with him. So yeah, and then Chris Hawkins, BBC Six radio breakfast host. He's not a Liverpool supporter, but had a really good chat with him. So yeah, that should, and a few others, I think, but that should cover our 2 week like mini break, and hopefully raring to go. We'll get back at you with a preview of the Liverpool Brighton, and get back on it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I think there's no way we're not going to all meet up in the pub over the next couple of weeks. So we'll probably we might meet up next week as well, and get all excited about the running. Because
if you can't get excited about
running,
then just stop supporting.
Yeah,
this is the most exciting times. I mean, again, it was one loss. It hurt against United, but we've got so much to be thankful for watching this team. Liverpool 2.0, whatever you want to call it. But watching Klopp, galvanise this team, especially after last season. He's galvanised this team. Him leaving, it's going to be sad, but he's leaving us in a good standing, for the next manager, for the next generation. So, all to play for, and, still crack on and do it.
Yeah, definitely, mate. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Get us on all the socials. Get us on the TikTok. Get us on Instagram as well. Dan Cross has made sure that we push that as well. Find us everywhere else. Give us a like, subscribe, and all that. And in your comments below, tell me, are Liverpool going to win this league? Darren, are we going to win this league?
Yeah, we are.
Me too. I think so as well. It's the first time I thought it.
And Europa as well.
Well,
I mean,
the
fairy tale of having us versus Leverkusen could be a possibility. And, what better way to hand it over to Alonso than beating him in the final?
Yeah, twatting him 5-0.
What Liverpool do.
Yeah. Right, anyway, let's not get into that because that could be another 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Darren, take care, mate. I'll see you soon.
All right, ta-ra, mate.